It's a good question. So the question is, logistically, how do you handle the train scenes, and did we buy a train? I would have loved to have bought a train. Unfortunately, we had a very limited budget to work with. Focus were very brave to finance this film, especially for a first-time director with a film in Spanish with a cast that no one could recognize. So we had as much as we could get from given those risks, and the train was a major part of the production and a major obstacle and a challenge to balance out over the shoot. Not only that, but we have a train that's supposed to travel from southern Mexico and you know, the film depicting it all the way up to the northern parts of Mexico, and we couldn't travel to those locations. So we shot 6 weeks total, 4 weeks of it in Mexico City. And so Mexico City doubled as Texas. I'm sorry, we had hills. I've been told Texas doesn't have hills. Whoops. But we also did Honduras there as well. And for the train stuff, we had 5 days to shoot on a real train. And we have a lot of material. Out of 6 weeks, you know, it's less than 1/6 the time because we were shooting 6-day weeks. And so what we did was, because we weren't going to be able to shoot on the train the whole time, and the train lines we had access to look nothing like most of Mexico, that we shot a limited part where we reveal the real train and reveal like wheels and train on real tracks at particular points to sell the idea of the train. Then we built this thing that we they have these things called process cars, and what we basically did is a version of a process train where we put like 2.5 versions of a wagon, not real wagons. We built them out of lighter material and put them on flatbed trailers and started driving those around country roads in Veracruz. And then you add a little train sound effects, and voila, it's a train. So we had another 4 days with that thing. So like when you saw the whole rain sequence, the really fancy rain sequence, those were 2 hoses. We wanted to make sure that don't cross the streams. The only real action stunt sequence in the real train was the father falling off the train. And we did that because actors are cheap in Mexico. So, no, I'm just kidding. Actors are very expensive in Mexico. We love our actors. And we put our stunt guy was great, and he put a piece of plywood between the train cars there with a nice bit of padding, and the guy can luckily fall well. And then there was a bunch of guys on either side to make sure he didn't roll off after he fell. We pulled that stunt off in the real train, and there was no trickery there. But otherwise, one of the biggest challenges of shooting on the process train, the one with the trailers, was that you can't back up because you jackknife. So we just had to keep moving forward. So anytime we needed continuity, like a tree in the background, we just had to hope there was another tree ahead, and that's how we did it. So yeah, it was a headache, to say the least. If they say, like, there's sort of an axiom, like, you know, kids and animals make it difficult to make a film. So like, that never work with kids and animals, and you can definitely add a train to that.